Welcome to the Fundy Biosphere I Speak series. We love our region and we think you should too. In this series, we'll be covering everything from the sciences of ecology and forestry to climate action and even hiking, exploring, and tourism. Join us as together we learn how truly special the Fundy Biosphere is. Welcome to the Fundy Biosphere I Speak series. I am excited to get this rolling. We're going to talk to partners. We're going to talk about ecology, climate action, some hiking and exploration, and even tourism. And today, to kick things off, we're going to talk about what the Fundy Biosphere even is. I've got Jen here, who is the executive director of the FBR. So Jen, what is the Fundy Biosphere Reserve?
Well, hey, Ben, thanks for having me on the podcast.
You were welcome.
The Fundy Biosphere Reserve is a UNESCO designated region in the Upper Bay of Fundy. We're part of a national network and an international network designated through UNESCO as a region of the world that aligns people, planet, and prosperity. So we work together with many partners to do sustainable development related goals. And that can kind of take us off in a lot of different directions. So it's exciting to be able to talk today about what the biosphere is, but then also to sort of dive a little deeper as we go through more episodes of the podcast so that people can see the very many things that we do and then our partners do.
So what is the boundaries of the Fundy Biosphere? Like saying Fundy, people definitely think the coast, but what is the Fundy Biosphere?
Yeah, so we are designated under the Upper Bay of Fundy watershed. So any water that falls on the piece of land that the biosphere is designated as runs into the Upper Bay of Fundy. We do stop at the Nova Scotia border because two provincial designated biospheres it's a challenge when you do governance. So from the Nova Scotia border up through Sackville, a little north of Moncton, and then down through Hillsborough, Alma, and all the way to St. Martin's. So there's this watershed that we've designated or we nominated to UNESCO as a unique ecoregion of the world, but also as a model site for doing sustainable development type activities. And so we've designated this area, or UNESCO has designated this area, accepted our nomination in 2007 to have this region of the world considered to be a UNESCO biosphere.
Now, you've alluded to it a couple of times, but talk to me about the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, as we know them.
Sure. There's these 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, and they help sort of align groups, both community groups, governments, international organizations. They help align us all so that we can be working towards a healthy planet, prosperous people, and also considering the fact that economic development still needs to occur, and things like education and they're these very high level and sort of value driven goals. And so through the SDGs, there's 17, and our biosphere and other biospheres in Canada and across the world can work on many of them, and others we need to partner in order to do those kinds of things. So for example, clean water and sanitation is one of the 17 goals. We obviously, as an organization, are not working on clean water and sanitation, but we can work with organizations like Transaqua, who do the Greater Moncton Wastewater Commission. And we can also work with citizens to say, this is the type of thing that you can do in your life to promote and help the wastewater treatment plant, and also any kind of like stormwater that's coming off of your land. So we personally don't do that stuff, but we assist others, and we sort of recommend and educate and knowledge share to get some of those sustainable development goals further along in our region.
We help sort of promote different people who do those things. And some of that stuff we do a little bit, like our tree planting programs.
Yeah, so then there are other ones that our organization does directly, like climate resiliency. Climate change is one of the sustainable development goals. And of course, we have worked very on the landscape in order to help climate change mitigation and adaptation by assessing climate change resilient tree species in the Acadian forest, and then recommending those tree species to landowners to plant them, and also planting thousands and thousands of trees with partners in our region. And again, we don't own land, but we are partnered with the City of Moncton and many other organizations that do own land, so that we can help reforest areas and plant those climate resilient native species to our area. Yeah, so the SDGs are a framework that we work under, and then we have obviously developed our own strategic plan that integrates the Sustainable Development Goals, so that there are things that we know for sure that we partner on, and then other things that we do directly, whether
Yeah.
it's in the environment, on the landscape, or it's desktop work. It still works towards those sustainable development goals and our strategic plan and those priorities.
Yeah, the reading that I've been doing on the SDGs, it sort of lumps them into, and they're by no means a rule. They're more like they're goals for a reason. They're things that we should all be striving to, not only as biospheres, but as just people in general. And they can kind of be lumped into the ecological, the socioeconomic, and more cultural things, and then just the overarching partnerships as well. So talk to me a little bit about what our strategic plan is. So what are some of the specific things that we are doing?
Yeah, so like our very first strategic plan priority is biodiversity conservation and protection of ecosystem services. And so it's like kind of a long thing, like what do we do under those? And so biodiversity conservation, we work with land conservation. We work with the province for crown land conservation. We also have partners that are in private land acquisition and conservation. And so we're currently working on biodiversity conservation through land conservation. The idea is the more land that's conserved for nature, the more biodiversity will be conserved. But also fitting underneath biodiversity conservation is the work that we do with the Acadian forest. So while we're planting native species to our land, we're conserving those rare trees that are not as prevalent on the land as they once were. And so the biodiversity conservation piece, it fits within 5 different sustainable development goals, things
Mhm.
like sustainable cities and communities, climate action, life below water, life on land, and obviously partnership for the goals. Partnership for the goals is like number 17 of the 17 sustainable development goals that really everybody can kind of put their hat on that one, because we all do that quite well in this region. Or most organizations are happy to partner, right? So the sustainable development goals are these kind of, again, overarching things that we've categorized and looked at what we can do and what our partners can do. And so the first one is that the first priority in our strategic plan is biodiversity conservation. The second is sustainable relationships between people and nature. The third is a celebration of natural and cultural heritage. And then the last one, which is we do sort of integrated through those first 3, is knowledge sharing.
Mm.
So this podcast and other many things that we do hits that knowledge sharing piece that really is integrated into the sustainable development goals, but also UNESCO as a whole. UNESCO is the United Nations Education, Science and Education. Mess that one up. The UNESCO is the United Nations Science, Education, and Cultural Organization. The key theme is education and knowledge sharing
Yeah.
among partners and to community. So the knowledge sharing piece is very important for us as well.
It's been really cool, even as an organization. I've been with the FBR for almost 6 months now, and it's been cool that a lot of people may see what we have on social media and what we sort of post and boast about publicly, but there's a lot that even goes on behind the scenes. We have a weekly meeting that we talk about that. There's so much that even me as the PR guy, it's hard for me to address everything that we're doing, because there's so much that sort of goes on behind the scenes and that I can't necessarily capture, especially with complicated COVID things and things changing all the time. So it's been really cool to learn about that.
Well, and it's kind of an exciting time for the biosphere right now. We started like the Biosphere Initiative to get the UNESCO designation started way before, many years before 2007, when we received our designation. The designation to get the UNESCO approval to be a biosphere, it's intense. And also we have to review every 10 years with this huge periodic review to show that we are of the right caliber to be part of this national network. But in 2007, there's been a lot of growth since 2007. So there's, and again, as all nonprofit organizations, there's sort of ebbs and flows with funding and that kind of thing. But currently we're in a very exciting time because there is some investment from various levels of government and also community investment. People are starting to really see the value of the biosphere. and the work that is important in terms of climate change, good health and well-being, all of these sustainable development goals that really we all should be achieving. And so it's kind of exciting that, yeah, we have a lot of stuff on the go behind the scenes, but we're really, and thanks to you, we're starting to push that out so people can see the work we've been doing for the last, 15 and more years.
Well, and not only that, we're able to see now more people are able to see who we're working with, and we're able to meet new people, even through the people that I've proposed this podcast to, that we're able to meet new organizations, just like, oh, hey, you should talk to so-and-so, that we're able to partner with new organizations. So I'm pretty excited to be moving forward with this. I think that is good for today. Jen, thank you for joining me, or joining us, I guess. And I'm looking
thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to genuinely looking forward to talking to different people in different walks of life, different organizations, that hopefully, if you are listening to this, or if you're watching this and you are interested, or of an organization, pitch it to them. We'd love to have them on. So thank you for listening to our I Speak Fundy Biosphere series, and hopefully we will see you next time. For more information about the Fundy Biosphere, or to contact us, you can find us on social media or visit us at fundy-biosphere.ca.